Hello again, here we are. When I originally wrote this, it was called Now We're Over 50. Then, 10 years later, it was called Now We're Over 60. As from last year, unfortunately, it's called Now We're Over 70. Here we go. Now we're over 70, we should wear our age with pride. We've been there and we've done it and we took it in our stride. We bopped a Little Richard, with Elvis our first kiss, back row in the movies, a grope in the 1 and 6, a tanner in the jukebox, a fiver for your pay, riding with Gene Vincent on the back of a BSA. The Beatles brought us Strawberry Fields, the Stones, the Altamont Blues, and war movies on all TVs, the latest Vietnam news. 1, 2, 3, 4. We didn't want that fucking war. But what can a poor boy do? 'Cause sleepy London town's no place for a street fighting man. Chilly, chilly, it's evening time, and Waterloo sunset's fine. When I think of all the good times I've wasted, having good times. We lost a few along the way. Jimmy and Janice couldn't stay. Tim Buckley and Jim Morrison sang their song and passed along. But we who are still standing, we who still survive, we've been there and we've done it, and we wear our age with pride. We wear it like a banner. We are the ones with pluck. We're growing old disgracefully. Now we're over 70, and we don't give a fuck. Thank you. That's a bit of a shock. That means that's 20 years old. Whew. Been writing for a long time. Anyway, this is a relatively new one, just called Lines. There's deadlines, headlines, lines of coke and speed, train lines, helplines, bloodlines when you bleed, straight lines, parallel lines, lines underneath your eyes, telephone lines, tube lines, lines to score a try, hemlines, jaw lines, lines in every song, guidelines, hard lines when everything goes wrong. This is just a list of words that all end with a line. I thought I'd make a poem of them. That was a fucking waste of time. This is as old as the hills. It was handed down to me as part of our oral tradition. It was handed down to me by a very brilliant bloke. Opium and milk. No, honest, just milk. It was handed down to me by a genius called Bob Williamson. And it's a sort of oral traditional. It's a monologue. No idea who wrote it. Probably somebody will claim to it, but I've performed it. Bob gave it to me one drunken night in 74, I think it was. When Jonathon Cooper came home from school, he started to cry and to cry. He cried and he cried for nearly 3 weeks, and his mam started wondering why. "What's matter, young John?" his mother did say. "Has he been caught in bike sheds again? Or have you been given stick for playing at darts with your pen?" "Oh no," young Jonathon said. "It's nothing like that. It's all got to do with me willy. We're measuring showers just after games, and mine was so small it looks silly." "Right," said his mum. "Down to Gypsy's we'll go. Some of his spells we shall borrow. I reckon it'd make it grow wrong breed away. You'll be tripping up, bugger tomorrow." Well, next morning at Gypsy's, young John showed his complaint. And it was certainly nothing to boast. And Gypsy at first thought he'd sprouted a worm. And then he prescribed John hot toast. "Hot toast," said his mam. "Have you gone bloody daft? It's Willie that's lacking your twit. Why, just look at poor little thing hanging there at tea time. I ate bigger chips." "It's a common complaint, Mrs. Cooper," he said, "and mostly men, don't you know. But nature has found best cure of 'em all. 'Cause hot buttered toast makes 'em grow." Well, next morning at breakfast, young Johnny came down. He looked like he'd just seen a ghost, 'cause on every plate and pan high up to the roof were hundreds of pieces of toast. "I can't eat all them, ma'am," Jonathon said, and his face, it grew morbid and sad. "It's all right, love, there's only 2 slices for you. Rest room's all for your dad. Thank you. See you later."